9 years ago, my sister discovered lamps in her napkin and arm and was diagnosed with cancer. For that day, she started to benefit from the understanding that science has of cancer. Every time she went to the doctor, she measured the specific molecules that give them information about how she do and what to do next. New medical options became available every few years. Everyone recognized that she was struggling with biological illness. This spring, she received an innovative new medical treatment in clinical epidemiologically naked cancer. Guess who I'm going to spend this Thanksgiving with? My vacation sister, who gets more exercise than I do, and who, like perhaps many people in this room, increasingly talks about the ills in the past tense. Science came in our lifetimes, even in decades, transform from what it means to have specific illness, but not for all illnesses. My friend Robert and I were classmates in graduate school. Robert was smart, but with each passing month, his thinking seemed to become more discognized. He dropped out of school, got a job in a store, but that too became too complicated. Robert became fearful and withdrawal. And year and a half later, he started hearing and believing that people were following him. Doctors diagnosed him with and gave him as the best thing. The drug makes the voices somewhat quieter, but didn't restore his bright mind and his social connectedness. Robert struggled to remain connected to the worlds of schools and work and friends. He drifted away, and today I don't know where to find him. If he watches this, I hope he'll find me. Why does medicine have so much to offer my sister, and so much less to offer millions of people like Robert? The need is there. The World Health Organization estimates that brain illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depression and the world's largest cause of lost years of life and work. That's in part because these illnesses often strike early in life, in many ways in prime of life, just as people are finishing their education, starting careers, forming relationships and families. These illnesses can result in suicides. They often compromise one's ability to work at once, and they're the cause of so many tragedies. Having a relationship and connections, miss the opportunities to pursue dreams and ideas. These illnesses limit human possibilities in ways we simply can't measure. We live in an area in which there's a profound medical process and so many other fronts. My sister's cancer story is a great example, and we could stay drugs like statin will prevent millions of people. When you look at these areas of profound medical progress in our lifetimes, they have a native medical. Scientists discovered molecules that matter. They developed ways to detect and measure those molecules in the body, and they developed ways to interfere using other molecules medicines. It's a strategy that have worked again and again and again. They when a cancer, but when it becomes to brain, that strategy has been limited because today we don't know nearly enough yet about how the brain works. We need to learn which our cells matter to each illnesses and which molecules, and that's a mission I want to tell you about today. My lab develops technologies with which we try to turn brain into a big data problem. You you see, before I worked in computer and math, and I learned this. Wherever you can collect vast amount of right kinds of data about the functioning of system, you can compute it in powerful new ways to make sense of that system and learn how it works. Today, big data approaches are transforming every large sectors of our economy, and they could do the same in biology and medicine too. But you have to have the right kinds of data. You have to have data about right things, and none of that of require new technologies and ideas. And that is a mission that animates the scientist. Today I want to tell you two short stories from our work. One fundamental obstacle in trying to turn a brain into big data problem is that our brains are composed of built from billion of cells, and our cells are not generalized. They're species like humans at work. These specialize into thousands of different carriers of cell types. In fact, each of the cell types in our body could probably give a lovely TED talk about what it does at work. But as scientists, we don't even know today how many cell types there are, and we don't know what the titles of most of those talks would be. Now, we know many important things about they can differ dramatically in size. One will respond to molecule that other doesn't respond to. They, they'll make different molecules, but science has largely been reaching an ad hoc way on one cell type at time, one molecule at a time. We wanted to make it possible to learn about this quickly and systematically. Now, until recently, it was the case. If you wanted to inventory of molecules in part of brain of any origin, you had to the first wind up into a kind of cellular mostly, but that's a problem. As soon as you've ground up the cells, you can only study the contents of the average cells, not the individual cells.